I'm Fiore Hernandez.
I'm Maria Sayag.
And you need a coffee break. Welcome to Coffee Break. I know that you are probably wondering what this show is all about, so pick up your favorite mug, fill it up with your favorite blend of coffee or tea, and let's get to talking.
That's right, Fiora. And you know, with everything that we go through on an everyday basis, especially at the beginning of our week, whether it be school, work, or whatever it is that we do, sometimes we just need a break. So why not a coffee break?
Absolutely. And guess what? This show is like no other. At Coffee Break, we do not want to talk at you and just feed you information. We want to talk with you, have a conversation. Let's chat. Give us information too, right, Maria?
That's right. That's why we invite you to join us via Twitter, Facebook, or YouTube and just tell us your thoughts. Good or bad news, vamos a hablar. Let's talk about it.
And unfortunately, Maria and viewers, this week we start Coffee Break with sad or bad news, shall I say, the story that has dominated the headlines and conversations among many, especially college campus students. The Annie Le case, the graduate student at Yale University, and her murder. The latest developments on that is that authorities have arrested and charged a man by the name of Raymond Clark, who was a lab tech there at the university, Raymond Clark III. And he's been charged with the murder. Annie Le's body was found stuffed inside the wall of a research building where they both worked at together, Marie. Unbelievable.
That is, in fact, unbelievable. Her body was actually found on the day which was supposed to be her wedding day, and now Annie Le left her office feeling completely safe. Reports indicate that she left her purse and her cell phone at the office, went to the research facility without any of that, where unfortunately she met her untimely death.
Absolutely. How could she expect that? I'm sure she really didn't anticipate that at all. I mean, she was just going to work. And actually, according to the Associated Press, Richard Levin, Yale University's president, commented shortly after Clark's arrest that his work history or his record did not show any indication that he was capable of such a crime. In other words, nothing showed up on paper that he could do such a horrible thing to anyone else. And the bottom line is, though, that brings up the question then, how do you know? What signs do you look for, right, Maria? If nothing comes up on paper, I mean, how do you know? It's just a chance you kind of take. It's scary.
Kind of have to take. And I mean, with people that you interact with and work with on an everyday basis, you certainly build a level of trust. And that's exactly what was the case here. Right. She didn't know she was about to face her killer. And that, in fact, is just a sad thing. You just don't know what people are capable of.
No, she had no idea. And also, there were so many rumors going around. First, that she might have been a runaway bride. As you mentioned, she was about to get married, am I correct? Mm-hmm. And so the runaway bride rumor, obviously that was dispelled, you know. And also Chief of Police at New Haven, James Lewis, also stated that according to his investigation thus far, there is no proof that these two, Le and Clark, had any kind of romantic relationship, which was also rumored. We got to be careful with what we assume and what we think, and then find out, so unfortunately, that it's not true. I mean, something tragically happened to her, and we need to really take that seriously.
That's true, and in fact, it is a case of workplace violence, which, according to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, for the state of Pennsylvania alone, there were 34 cases of workplace fatalities associated with violent attacks or assault, and the number in the entire nation is at 107.
Yeah, absolutely, and of course, those numbers including deaths or fatalities due to the risk that some careers have. For example, police officer, Maria, you know, obviously they're at high risk. Firefighters, I assume. Also, even farmers, if they're attacked or mauled down by some vicious animal they might have on the farm, that's also one of those cases. But the fact is that this was not the case. At the Yale University murder case. This was not the case. She was just going to work, and something like this happened to her, and that's just, it's just horrible.
It is horrible, and you know, our condolences do go out to Annie Le's family, her fiance, and also Clark's family, which we could imagine they're probably facing a really difficult time right now.
And while in local current issues, it looks like Allentown mayoral candidate Tony Phillips is off the hook with authorities. He will not be facing simple assault charges in connection with a case from 2007 with a woman he was romantically involved with. According to District Attorney John Morganelli, the statute of limitations in simple assault cases is 2 years. Therefore, obviously, it has expired. According to the alleged victim, Margarita Lopez, she states that Phillips threw her on the ground, and she fractured her arm. Phillips tells authorities that he threw her on the ground because of physical violence from her part onto him. So it's almost like he was defending himself, I assume.
Right, and although the statute of limitations has indeed expired, the case did happen. Both parties do agree that it did in fact occur, and as we all know, if your physical violence in a relationship is just unacceptable. And didn't this case come to light because of a certain Facebook interaction that they had?
Absolutely. Believe it or not, the Morning Call reported that the alleged victim, Lopez, Margarita Lopez, posed as a married woman on Facebook and lured Phillips into a sensuous conversation. But it was on his Facebook, the campaign's Facebook page. I mean, why anyone would get into these kinds of conversations on the campaign's page is beyond me, to be honest with you, on Facebook, period.
Absolutely
period.
not.
I mean, but the bottom line is he's a public official, and especially running for mayor. I mean, it's no surprise that the GOP asked him to get out of the race, except he doesn't want to. So,
wow, and in fact, this case does take a really serious and unfortunate twist. Lopez has indeed tested positive for HIV, and she came out publicly about this because she wanted to warn other women and also urge Phillips himself to get tested.
absolutely. And I think that the fact that she's trying to urge other women and is worried about what they do and trying to urge them to, hey, watch out, I think that's commendable. In the case of Phillips, he did do an exclusive interview with local news team 69 News, and he did tell them, and they reported that he is not HIV positive. So that's a good thing. Just the fact that the whole HIV thing is being brought up is kind of scary.
Yes, it is, Fiorine. All right, I think I've had enough with the controversy and the bad news. Let's remember that it is, in fact, September, which is the beginning of school for some people, back to school for some people, and also fall is right around the corner. And one more thing, it's National Hispanic Heritage Month, which for me should be a year-long event. In fact, I love it.
Absolutely. The celebration starts for us September 15th and it runs through October 15th. And you know, we're always partying throughout the whole month, but guess what? This is the time when we share our culture and heritage with you, and we ask that you share yours with us, right? The city of brotherly love, Philadelphia, as always, kicks it off right with their annual Puerto Rican Day Parade. This year, it is set to be held on Sunday, September 27th. Am I correct? Yes. And I can't wait. It's always a good time. Let me tell you, Maria, you gotta go.
I know, I do. I've been to many Puerto Rican Day parades before, and although I myself am not Puerto Rican, I know you guys know how to celebrate.
Oh my God, let me tell you, it's just one of those things among many other things that makes me proud to be Puerto Riqueña, okay? But let me tell you, you know what? You are Peruvian, honey, and I know that you guys know how to party too, okay?
Oh man, yeah, we definitely do. We definitely know how to, kick it in there and, just be happy, because that's what it's all about, celebrating that happiness. And I know a lot of that happiness we have to celebrate has to deal with inner happiness. And I know you like makeovers, Fior, and I know I like makeovers. I know we're doing makeovers on this show, but makeovers with a twist. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yes. I mean, Maria, we do like beauty. We like to talk about beauty like many women do. However, this is more like a makeover for the soul. At Coffee Break. I mean, I say that because beauty definitely goes far beyond what the eye can see. And I know a lot of people say that, but it is definitely true. And I, for one, Maria, can tell you that when I worked as a journalist for 69 News Edición en Español, Spanish edition for non-Spanish speakers, I came in contact with so many different people, Maria, I have to tell you, that impacted my life and that I wish I could have talked to a little longer. 5 more minutes. Just give me 5 more minutes to get to know you, to tell people about you because you impressed me, because you impacted my life. But because we know news is fast moving, I never got that opportunity, but I have that opportunity today. And guess what? That was the case with 42-year-old Lilia Santiago. I did a series working with her together, Maria, about a couple of years ago. She worked for Children and Youth Services, and I was working on a series about foster children and a program called Compadres, which plays Hispanic children with Hispanic families and tried to, make that connection. And let me tell you, Lilia was the one to help me. Her kindness impressed me. Her smile was just infectious. But I never had the idea, let me tell you, because she was so happy looking, that she was hiding so much pain and that she had been through so much. Isn't that amazing how many people go through that and you don't even notice? But let me tell you what, I caught up with Lilia Santiago for this very special makeover, Lily of the Valley.
I'm in the process of healing. It's been a long journey. But when I was 9, my uncle sexually abused me, and I know it was my uncle. I know the face. I remember the smell. I remember things that were not normal for somebody to do to a 9-year-old. I really didn't think that I was worthy of love. I've never thought I was pretty enough. I've always tried to do something so that people could love me. I started dating when I was 13, drinking alcohol already when I was 13, trying to forget. But didn't understand what I was forgetting. It was just so painful. I then got married when I was 26 to an evangelist who, the first year was wonderful. And then afterwards, beat me up. My jaw is messed up. My teeth are totally crooked. Would preach in the pulpit and then beat me up dramatically. So that was really hard. I lived for 8 years like that. We don't know how to receive love because we've never felt it really. We don't talk about a lot of things. We keep things a secret. And there's power in voicing it, but we also have to publicize them because then they don't become powerful in your mind. They don't take over you. And that's what happens to somebody that's sexually abused. They become so in their own little secret world that becomes that consumes them. But when you come out and talk about it, it makes you powerful because you're now telling the abuser, you know what, you don't have power over me anymore. When you pray and you're saying to God, nobody notices me. And then it's God says, yes, they do. And he sends something that kind of sparks you and says, I remember you, but sometimes you feel so forgotten. You feel lost.
Wow, such a sad story. I can't even imagine what Lilia went through or what she's going through right now. It's just awful.
We can't even try to imagine, Maria, because fortunately we have not gone through something like that. I know that you noticed in the story, and you can see the look in her face, the look in her eyes, what she's going through. However, when you meet her in person and when you hear her pain and you see the look in her face, you really, 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 it hits your heart. It really does. And fortunately, we have not gone through that, but unfortunately, many people have gone through something like that, Maria, in this country, in this world. Many children are going through that as we speak, okay? So if you or anybody that has gone through that before, or you are going through that right now, please do not be afraid. Speak out, speak to someone, talk to someone, because there are people willing to open their arms and help you get you out of that situation, okay? And there is a happy ending, okay? Because it starts happening for Lilia, so you gotta stay tuned because those tears of sadness start turning into tears of joy.
And I'll take you to the Cyber Corner to share your thoughts and also feature our Student Journalist of the Week.
And we will talk all things weekend, including movies, music, fun things to do. So refill that mug. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to your coffee break, guys. We have been encouraging interaction with you via Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. So why don't we head on over to the Facebook page to see what you have to say. Jonathan, what's up?
Hey, Coffee Break Girls. I dig the show. And I was wondering about the nightlife here in the Valley, especially for singles. What's there to do around here?
That's such a great question, Jonathan. Well, I can start by answering and telling you to keep watching Coffee Break each and every single weekend. We'll tell you where to go, what spots to not go, and as far as the single life, we can always tell you what's hot, what's not so hot, and just fill you in on what the good spots are. All right, and on to Roberto's question. Roberto, what's up?
Chicas, what's up? How you doing? I was just wondering about the Sands Casino. What's going on with that? Before I heard there was a lot of controversy. A lot of people didn't want him here, but now, what's going on?
Thank you, Roberto. In fact, that is a really good question. As we all know, there has been a lot of controversy surrounding the construction of the Sands Casino. Some people were for it, others were against it. But at least for now, the casino is here to stay. But we'd love to take the time and revisit that issue and see what people are saying now about the casino. And as always here at Coffee Break, we strongly promote the idea of pursuing a higher education and going after the career that you love. This week we're featuring a student journalist of the week from the Valley. Her name is Dana Williams. She is from Penn State University. Dana, take it away.
Congressman Wexler in any real legal trouble? We talked to political scientist Robert Watson, who told us that as long as he possesses a Florida driver's license and votes in the state of Florida, he should be in the clear. We requested an on-camera interview with the congressman. His campaign declined and gave us this statement. This is nothing more than a baseless political attack by Congressman Wexler's Republican opponent. Congressman Wexler moved to Florida when he was 10 years old, and he has continually met Florida's residency requirements ever since.
There's 650,000 people that live in District 19, and they deserve to be represented.
Dana, that was really good. Thank you so much for submitting your tape to us. You look really good on camera. Fjord, what did you think?
You know, Dana, I really did think that you have the talent and you definitely got the look. The only thing I would suggest and advise is that you have more confidence in that on-air delivery. But darling, that certainly comes with experience. And speaking of confidence, let's check out how much confidence Lilia has gained throughout this makeover.
I'm really excited, actually.
My name is Steve. Welcome to Lennox.
Thank you.
So I cleanse your skin. Now I'm gonna tone it. One thing that I really believe with all my heart is God loves us so much, and wants us to always to be happy, to smile, to be successful, to help one another. You know, no matter how much hard time we have, when we have Lord right next to us, when we have faith, through faith, we could get over it. Deep breathe. Wonderful.
Oh, that's really pretty. My hair is like the biggest issue because I like long hair. I really do. So maybe I wouldn't go crazy if he layered it a little bit, but keep the length kind of. And then I don't know, like my whole thing is like a lot of people say, well, you look older with grace, but you get to a point in your life that you're just like, you work so hard, so you don't really have time to like dye your hair all the time. So like if you get a dye, it's like you always have to be following up with it. So I guess just having like a little, just blending what I have already.
Hi, Lily. How are you? Welcome to our studio. So Lily, this is Lisa.
Hi, Lily. It's a pleasure to meet you.